am Tracy Sayer, and I am the co-founder, co-executive director. Katrina couldn't be here tonight because she's on her honeymoon, so we're very happy for her. I'm very jealous for her, of her. And I am joined by the lovely Kendall. Would you like to?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kendall Davis. I am the programs coordinator for Moonshot Initiative.
Awesome. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our organization first, and then we can go into your audience questions. Make sure you are putting your questions in the tab below. It says, what does it say? I have it all minimized so it doesn't show it to me. Do you see what it says?
I don't think we have Q&A for this. I think
Oh, okay.
we
So put
chat.
your questions in the chat and Kendall will keep track of them and ask them of us, ask it of me later on. Okay, so in case you have no idea what Moonshot Initiative is, Moonshot Initiative, formerly known as Women's Week in Film Challenge, works towards gender equity in film and TV through four programs. Our signature film challenge, which you're all here for today, our virtual event series, our pilot accelerator, and our virtual courses. Virtual education like one-time workshops and month-long courses, including write a pilot in 30 days, revise a pilot in 30 days, and how to pitch your project. And if you are a member, you get super discounts for those programs. We also have we do them in New York City, LA, Atlanta. Our next mixer is August 27th from 7 to 9 at Chelsea Bell in New York City, and we hope to see you there. They're a ton of fun. We have our pilot and feature accelerators. We select 6 to 8 fellows and hold a 3-week intensive where our fellows get feedback from working professionals. After that, our fellows pitch their projects to companies and representatives during Pitch Week. This year, the companies included HBO, Netflix, Stars, Berlanti, Broadway Video, Amazon, and more. 85% of the pitches ended with a request to read the script. We have several people working in the writer's room, several fellows working in the writer's room. We have some exciting breakthroughs that we can't publicize yet, but they will be on our Instagram eventually. And then we have our film challenge, where we create crews of women and gender expansive filmmakers, all previously strangers, to write, shoot, and edit a short film, then premiere it on a big screen just a few weeks later. We provide cinema quality gear, courtesy of our sponsors, production insurance, location permits, and a premiere screening and after party. Um, so remember, ask your questions in the chats. Before we go to those questions, I'm just going to give you some of the basics. The challenge will take place in October in New York City and the Hudson Valley. I'm super excited about that. I live in the Hudson Valley. I've been trying to bring it up here for a while, and we have found a way to bring one crew up here. And so it's a test run, and it's super exciting. Applications are open now. Deadline is August 31st, and you must be a Moonshot member to apply. This is our 6th film challenge. To date, we've worked with over 900 professional filmmakers in New York and LA to make 36 short films, which have been accepted in over 120 film festivals. This is a free networking opportunity where you'll get to work with amazing gear, meet women and gender expansive filmmakers in every role of production, and make a stellar film shot in one weekend. We accept 150 to 200 filmmakers and place them onto 6 crews to write, shoot, and edit a short film. Most of these crews will be in New York City, and we will have one Hudson Valley-based crew in partnership with Hutsi. So some of the important dates. Make sure you're a member now or right before you sign up. Um, the deadline to apply is August 31st. You'll find out if you're accepted by the end of September. There's going to be a mixer for accepted participants where you'll meet your crew for the first time. That's going to be on Tuesday, September 30th from 7 to 9. There will be Pre-production meeting Saturday, October 11th. That's required for everyone. There's going to be an orientation then for the writer, director, and producers to work on collaborating with strangers for the first time. That's where you'll get to know your genre and you'll get to also hopefully do some hands-on training with the equipment. And then the film challenge itself starts October 16th, Thursday, October 16th. That's when there's going to be the equipment pickups. Filming will take place Friday, October 17th and Saturday, October 18th. Editing happens concurrently. Post-production happens Sunday, October 19th. Picture lock is due at 11:59 p.m. Sunday, October 19th. The post team can make final tweaks on Saturday, October 25th and Sunday, October 26th. And the high-res final screening version of the films are due October 26th. So it's a very short period of time. We're going to then screen those completed films in November in New York City and then also another screening in the Hudson Valley. So about 400 to 500 people will end up seeing your film on top of all the festivals afterwards. So I just monologued at you all for a while. Sorry about that. But I would love to answer any of your questions. If I skipped over anything, um, let us know in the chat. Eager to answer. Kendall, was there anything that I was going over that you were like, that's confusing?
No, I don't think so. It seemed pretty clear. I guess I'll just add we are making it so that everyone needs to be a Moonshot member because our team communication will happen on that platform. So you'd also need to be a Moonshot member throughout the entirety of the film challenge if accepted.
To see past films, if you are a member under the video library, we have some of our films there. How many people are part of each crew? So we place approximately 25 to 30 people on each crew. We make sure that each crew has two writers, a director, three producers, one lead producer, and two associate producers, lighting, a swing, script supervisor, three actors, a boom operator, sound mixer, post sound composer. I know I'm forgetting a bunch. A DP, a colorist. We really try to make sure that the crews are complete and that you're not reaching out to your current network to try to fill these positions because our goal is that once you're placed on a crew, you are given an entirely new network of people to work with and hire and refer in the future. All right. Kendall, do you have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, so we had one. Do writer participants in the challenge often move on to the accelerators?
Ooh, good question. It definitely helps to know your writing, know how you perform under pressure. Um, we have had writers from the film challenge become help us judge applications for the accelerators. I don't know if off the top of my head, I don't think any film challenge writers have been accepted part fellows, but we have had, I know that there were one or two finalists that were film challenge participants, writers. Um, but yeah, it definitely always helps to be known and be a participant. It definitely wouldn't keep you from getting selected as a fellow.
And do we have any ballpark of when the screening would be in November?
No, we don't. There's a few venues that we're trying to get right now. The venues cost like $5,000 to $7,000, and so we're raising the money for those screenings right now. And so we're trying to get a place donated. That's always the goal, but it's never happened before. And we also need a place that can host 400 people at a time. So those screening venues are both always pretty expensive. So it will probably be on a weekday, and we'll try to do it after work hours. We usually do it at like 6 or 7.
Great. And if someone is based in New Haven, Connecticut on the Metro North line, are they eligible to apply for the New York City groups?
As long as you are coming into the city for work consistently, that's okay. What we are looking for, our goal, the whole purpose of this film challenge is to introduce women and gender expansive people to each other so that they can hire and refer each other. It's a way to work in the trenches. Our past participants have called it networking on steroids. And so our goal is that after you do this, that you can hire and refer all these people that you've met and that you can accept those jobs too. So we don't want to place someone on a crew that makes a great impression and then the next weekend someone's like, "Oh, hey, can you DP this film," and you say, "Oh, sorry, it's too much commuting for me." That's when we won't place you. But as long as you're like, "Yeah, I go into the city all the time for work," of course, then definitely apply. When we see your application, if you say, I would say New York City general metro area. I think it's worded that way. I would say that if you are coming into the city. But typically we give people the benefit of the doubt if we see that they live in Connecticut or New Jersey, or Pennsylvania. We figure like, okay, they're probably willing to commute all the time for work.
Great. And how we choose the crew members.
Great question. So for a lot of the roles, we have a panel of judges that help us select the participants. We think it's really important to get your work seen by industry insiders. So we have well, I think their last film challenge, we had 150 applications for 6 director slots. And so we sent those 150 director reels to a panel of directors. I think right now we have 6 directors on our panel of judges. They're going to review the reels. They will make suggestions for who they think we should place, and then it's usually narrowed down to about 10 people. And then we look at the crews that we're starting to assemble, and we try to find crews that have similar aesthetics, similar interests, and we try to make sure that the crews are diverse. And so we're thinking about all of that while we're putting together these crews. We look, that also happens for the acting roles. So the actors' reels get sent to a casting director, Elaine Duvall, and writing samples get sent to industry writers. So not only does it help us pick our participants, it also exposes your work. And in the past, we've had writers say like, "Whoa, this is amazing writing." It was actually someone that we couldn't place on a crew, but we introduced them to the writer because the writer was like, "This person's going someplace or places." So it's fun to introduce people that way and continue the networking snowball effect, even if someone can't do the film challenge. And then we, how we make the selections as well is we look at your work samples. Um, for example, directors specifically and the team leader, we need people with experience. A lot of people apply for the director role or the team leader roles without having enough experience. And this is intense. It's just a few days to make a short film. Absolute strangers. You're working with new equipment. We've had people that have directed feature films and have said that the film challenge was harder than the feature film. So we don't want to put all this on a new director for the first time. It's too intense. So we are looking for experienced people for those roles.
Okay, and I put the film challenge page back in the chat. You can see the bios of our judges for a few of the things on there now. Um, how does it work to choose the story that is written into the script?
All right. So this is important. We are not selecting a story, a script to be made for the film challenge. What happens is we select a writer based on the talent of their writing, and we put two writers on each crew, and they collaborate to write the script for the film challenge. So what's going to happen is October 11th at the pre-pro meeting, Katrina and I are going to draw a genre out of a hat for each of the crews. So one crew might get horror, another crew might get sci-fi, another crew might get rom-com. And so that crew has to write that genre of script, and they have a week to write it. Um, we also have a required prop. And so in the past, it's been like a backpack or um, a greeting card. And so you have to work that into the script as well. We don't want any writers bringing their babies into this film challenge. A lot is up in the air. You have no control. Things get changed last minute on set. You're working with another writer. You're supposed to be collaborating with them. And so we really don't want anyone saying like, this is the script that has to get made. This is my only chance to produce it. We want things that are entirely new. Yeah.
Cool. Are the roles more loose on set, or does a writer only write, for example? Are people able to flex into different roles on set?
They are pretty distinct roles. Everyone gets their assignments. If you have, as a writer, for example, if you have experience as scripty, a script supervisor, you can sign up for that role as well, and we'll place you for both probably. If you wanted to be on set as a PA, that would be okay. But there's there's definitely not like, oh, I'm a writer and I'm going to come on set and maybe I'll say some lines as well. Or like the actors are assigned, the director's assigned. Everything is like pretty distinct.
Great. And if someone is based in Atlanta but has traveled to New York for acting jobs before, though not regularly, should they apply?
Hmm. Would you, if someone wanted to cast you for a film the next week, would you come to New York? Just ask yourself that. Like, if someone were to meet you on set and say this person's amazing, I want to hire them, would you come on visit again? If if the answer is yes, then apply. If the answer is no, then don't don't do it. Writers are allowed on set. Yes, I should clarify that. Everyone is allowed on set. The crew, we encourage everyone to be on set. It's just that the roles are defined. Like you can't just decide I'm going to be an associate producer as well or whatnot.
Great. How many crews will there be in total?
There will be 5 crews in New York City, one in Hudson Valley. Any other questions? There are no bad questions. I love them all. I was really expecting people to ask why we started requiring membership. We have in the past always made the film challenge has always been free to apply to, free to participate in. We have this past year, we've lost a lot of federal funding. Everyone that has sponsored our film challenge in the past, we never got much money from sponsorships, but what little money we got in the past is gone now. So we're just looking for ways to make our organization sustainable, and it's a tremendous workload to review hundreds of applications, and we try to give everything a lot of thought and consideration. And so what we came up with was requiring people to join our membership program in order to apply. And we figured this is a win-win situation because we get support from the people that are interested in our programming, and you guys get access to incredible workshops. If you haven't checked them out yet, they're amazing. So many people have told us that it's like going to film school. You can chat with each other on the in the group forums, and you get major discounts off of our other programs. So we see it as a win-win.
And if you are a member and want to come to the New York Mixer later this month, it'll be completely free for members.
Yeah.
Great.
Are you going to be there, Kendall?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yay.
Be there. Are you going to be there?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but Katrina will be there.
Yes. All right. Is there anything that looks bad or unprofessional on an application?
Hmm. We have had someone in the past post give us a reel of their work samples that wasn't actually theirs. So that looks bad. Definitely. That's why we ask, like, what did you do on this? Explain what you did on your reel. Because it's okay if, like, if you're a DP and in your reel you say like, oh, I was second AC on the third shot, on the third and fourth shots, that's okay. But if you make it seem like you were the director or DP for everything on your reel when you weren't, that doesn't look good. Because we do a deep dive on the reels. Um, it, what else looks bad? Hmm. If it seems like you don't really understand what the film challenge is when you're applying, if you're saying like I have a great script that I want to get produced, then it feels like okay, you haven't really read what this film challenge is. Which is it's great that you were here tonight because then you got to hear my answer for that. Um, that's pretty much it. Kendall, can you think of anything that would I would also say like being impolite to Kendall on emails. Um, Human beings read any email that you send, and so if you're rude to Kendall, that gets back to us, and we're very protective over her. So be nice.
Though generally the moonshot community is amazing, so we know none of y'all would be rude. But I do tell, yeah. What makes an application stand out?
Hmm. Someone that really wants to collaborate, network, someone that is excited to try many different roles or give many different experience. For example, you can apply for up to 3 roles. So we do want, if you are only interested in being a DP, we want you to only fill out your first role, DP. We do not want you to say DP, first AC, second AC, and then we put you as a first AC or second AC, and then you're miserable. We do not want that to happen. But if you have that experience and you are just like, put me on set, I will do whatever you need, that really stands out to us. We will try to place you in your first role if possible, but it's much easier for us to place you if we have some more options. Again, if you're like, I really want to be a writer, but I also want some experience on set. I've never been on set. I could also be a PA. Then we're like, oh, this writing is really good, but we're not sure if it's ready yet. and we love the rest of the application. Let's put them on as a PA. Um, that always stands out well. Um, yeah, and great work samples speak for themselves. Um, yeah,
Great. So if someone is an AE, but they want to apply for editor, would that be okay?
that would be okay. As long as you can show that you can edit, that you have great editing abilities, we will definitely consider you. Um, yeah.
Great. Could you apply to be considered for various roles? You already touched on this, but I'm a writer and don't have any writing credits under my belt other than my own films, but I have experience in being a PA and other roles on set. Do you
Mhm.
have advice?
Yeah. You don't need to have published work, past experience as a writer. If your writing sample is fantastic, that's going to speak for itself, and we can place you as a writer if you get great scores from the judges. But I would also put in like your other options, like I said, if you really want to be on set and participate. We've had that where I think we've had like a set designer, production designer who is also a writer. She ended up talking to people on set. When they found out she was a writer, she sent them her work and they worked together in that capacity. So we think like if being on set is better than nothing. Even if you can't get like the dream role, just meeting everyone and being on set is really helpful.
What happens to the films after the challenge? Can crew members send the film to festivals and put it on their resume?
Yes, great question. That is our goal. We want you to put these films in your reels. We want you to put them on your websites. We own the rights to the films, but everyone that participated in the film challenge and making that film has uh, I forget the actual term for it, but like unrestricted license to use the films. So you can submit it to festivals. We actually have a film festival submission workshop. Sorry, my daughter's knocking. Hold on one second. We have a film festival submission workshop and we get waivers and we provide stipends for submitting to festivals because we really want these films to be seen by a larger audience. We have had one person get hired for her first feature film after her film screened at a festival. So we really do see the merit of getting these films into festivals.
And then you touched on a lot of this, but are there any other tips to keep in mind for the application?
Mm, I guess like show some of your personality, show your enthusiasm and excitement. In the question about like why you want to do the film challenge, or I think there's still the um, is there anything else we should know? Just use that to show your personality because I think it was Tina Fey that said like you hire the people that you want to hang out with at 2 a.m. And we're definitely looking for people that are flexible, enthusiastic, ambitious, creative, team players, all those kinds of stuff. So if we could see that in your answers, we're like, this person's good. We want to hang out with them at 2 a.m. But that is also to say, we've really tried to um, stretch out the film challenge, the schedule a little bit more, because we don't want people pulling 19-hour shoots. We want people to get sleep. We want people to take care of themselves. We want to show how amazing women and gender expansive people are at organizing and planning so that we get the shot quickly and no one's health is compromised to get the shot. So we are making post a little longer, the writing process a little longer because we don't want people up at 2 a.m.
Yeah. And does it matter if the work samples for director are not super recent?
No, doesn't matter.
Great. When it comes to picture locking, is it solely up to the editor and director to make those decisions?
So what we say during the orientation, for the writer, director, producers is that the writer, the director has the final say on the creative decisions, and the producer has the final say on the logistical decisions. So, like, for example, if the writers want to set something up on in Central Park and the producer's like, no, I don't want to have to stop traffic in Central Park. We're not doing that. Um, Even if the director's like, I love that idea, the team leader can be like, no, we're not doing that. Then during the post day, the director and editor will be working together, and at that point, it will be the director that makes the final decision on the um, picture lock.
And similarly, how does the editing process work? Like, who on the team is a part of that process?
So we love it when the editor and AE can be on set during the film challenge. That's what we suggest doing early on, getting like the rough cuts going right away. Um, we, let's see, we suggest that the rough cut is done by noon on Sunday, and to have to do a spotting session with the composer after that point, get the composer working on the the score basically at that point. And then yeah, does that answer the question?
I
I
think
feel like I rambled so much that I lost track of what I was saying. I'm
uh,
not used to answering all the questions. I'm so used to doing this with Katrina.
would if you are an editor or an AE, will you be working on set?
Yes.
Great. And how does selecting the location to shoot go? Are there any limitations on that?
Great question. We tend to, so there's two things to consider. One is when we put the crews together at the pre-pro meeting on October 11th, we ask everyone what locations they have available to them, because it usually happens between 20 to 30 people that there's some really interesting locations. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, I have this rooftop that my landlord lets me film there," or "I work at a coffee shop and we can work there on Saturdays after 12." So cool things come up that way. We are also working on getting a list of locations that will allow filming as well. Throughout the year, we've been meeting with places all over the city that say, "Oh, we'd love to help. If anyone wants to film here, we could do that." So we are going to provide that list, and that's really going to be first come, first serve. You'll just have to call those places and see if you can film there. Um, and also, what's fun about the pre-pro meeting, having everyone there at the same time when you're talking about locations, is that it's come up where um, people will say, "Oh, we have this rooftop," and then the sound mixer will say, "Oh, can we make sure that there's no important dialogue on the rooftop because there's airplanes and there's the air conditioning unit. It's really hard to get good sound on a rooftop." And the writers keep that in mind, and that's a really interesting part of the collaboration and the networking that happens when we have pre-pro and post-production and production all together meeting before the scripts are even written.
And if applying for the director role, and I guess this would work for really any role, should they send an entire short film as a sample or just a scene would be enough?
Um, you could send the whole film
Great. And then
if you
how
feel
many
comfortable with it. You could also send a scene if whatever you feel more comfortable with.
and how many pieces of work do you need to submit in the application?
Um, for the director role or for
I think this was for any role. This one wasn't clarified.
Mhm. Um, I
And
would send your best. Like, don't just send everything that you've done, to show that you're prolific. Like we just want to see your best work and what you're striving to do. Um, we want to see like what your aesthetic is. If there's something that you've done where you're like, I really wouldn't want to shoot anything like that again. Like, you don't need to share that with us. Um, yeah.
and they did clarify for editor position.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, with editing, it would be helpful to see several examples or a long enough scene where we can see your editing work. If it's just like two shots going back and forth, it might not help us. Um, so yeah. Any other questions? How did you guys hear about the film challenge? I'd love to know if you've been on our mailing list for a while, if you heard about it recently. I'm always curious where. Just let us know in the chat. We originally were doing the film challenge like every 9 months, and then we ran out of funding, and then it was COVID, and then there were strikes, so everything has like kind of stretched out so much. Um, oh, I have two friends I met on set who both did the film challenge together. Oh, that's so cool. What are their names? And and a one-year membership to Moonshot Atlanta Mixer, and I got on the listserv. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, we've had so many people who've done the film challenge and they meet like their work family on set. Um, Eden is a board member for our organization now. Oh, Carla and Eurisi. Oh, that's so cool. Um, Eden is on our board, and Eden was telling us that every single job after the film challenge came from the crew that they met on set with our film challenge. And we hear that from people so many times where they're like, oh, yeah, I got a few jobs afterwards. And then they're like, oh, wait, this person that got me the job I met on set. And then I also got that job from another person that I met on set. And they're able to see like the web of their careers all coming from the film challenge. And we're extremely proud of that. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people have been on the mailing list for a while. Well, thank you for being so patient. We wanted to bring this back a while ago, and so we're so excited to be doing it now in the fall. Yay. Any other questions? We can end early if there's no more other questions. Any advice for selecting writing samples? We asked for a 2-page writing sample, and we know that that's really difficult to convey everything in 2 pages. So what I would say is make sure that those 2 pages have proper formatting, that there's dialogue, character introductions that are interesting, and some action scenes. It's not as helpful when we get 2 pages of just like pure dialogue. We want to know like how you right action. We also want to know how you introduce a character. So that's really helpful to get. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be the beginning of a screenplay, but typically that's where you get a lot of the character introductions. All right. Any more? Are the crews pretty age diverse? Yeah, we have ranged from 19 to I think 75. We love age diversity. That is one of our goals. It does end up being more heavily skewed towards 20s and 30s because that's the application pool that we get. But we love people with interesting backgrounds, experience, and we think that it's only a plus to have more age diversity. Any others? I love how I'm like, okay, any other questions? We're going to end early. Wait, now is when I ask my question. So I'm going to keep threatening to end early. I want to get these last minute questions in. I don't want you to leave tonight with an unanswered question. There's also a lot of information on the FAQ page. If you go to the film challenge page, scroll all the way down, there's a ton of info there. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. We look forward to reading your applications and watching your reels and hopefully meeting you on set. There's like nothing better than when Katrina and I visit all of the sets, and Kendall will be there too, probably this fall. And it's amazing recognizing people's names from the application and from the Q&A sessions that we do and say like, oh, I remember when you were just a name in a chat, and now you're having so much fun on set. All right. Have a wonderful night and good luck. Bye.